Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral, thank you for being here. You and I are at a competitive disadvantage because neither one of us are lawyers, and that may be a badge of honor for some of us. You have lawyers on your staff, sir?
I do, Congressman.
All right, and your lawyers have looked at this urgent concern definition thoroughly and have given you advice?
Yes, Congressman.
If the black letter law was so clear in black letter, how is it that we've got different attorneys giving us, you and I, different opinions? That's a rhetorical question. That with respect to this issue, just to clarify, Mike Atkinson was in our group and in front of us last week. Did a very good job of telling us what he did, what he didn't do. We now know for sure what it is that he was able to do. As part of his investigation, he did not request records of the call from the president. And the reason he did is he cited the difficulty of working through all of that would have probably meant that he couldn't comply with the 14-day time frame. So even he did not try to overrun the White House's executive privilege over the conversation that the president had with President Zelensky. He also said in his letter, I also determined, this is quoting Michael, I also determined that there were reasonable grounds to believe that information relating to the urgent concern appeared credible. Now, that's a different statement than a flat out, it's credible. Just again, a rhetorical statement. Is there anything in statute from your lawyers in advising you that says that the determination of urgent concern lies solely with the ICIG?
No, sir. I was never advised by my legal counsel to that effect.
All right. Has to your knowledge, has the Justice Department ever weighed in to say that the fact that DNI can't make a separate decision with respect to that 7-day process, that the matter is not of urgent concern, as your team decided?
The matter of urgent concern is a legally defining term. It's pretty much either yes or no.
Well, apparently that's not the case, Admiral, because IG said it was, and you're saying it's not under that legal definition because it involved the president. He says, last time I checked, you're pretty familiar with chains of command. I know he's not in. He's not in your chain of command. You're in his chain of command. And so, for very definite reasons, appear to be credible. It doesn't meet the statutorily urgent concern definition with respect to the whistleblower protections of the IG. And your team made that call. The Inspector General made a different call.
No, sir. My team did not make the decision. It was the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel that made the determination that it was not urgent concern. All we wanted to do was just check and see. And to me, it just seemed prudent with the matter at hand right now to be able to just make sure that, in fact, it did. And when it didn't, I want to say once again, I endeavored to get that information to this committee.
Okay, sir, just to clarify the role that the Inspector General had with respect to the Department of Justice. I heard you say that he was involved in the conversations, allowed to make his case, but also said you gave him the letter, gave the Justice Department the letter. What was his exact involvement in making his case to Justice Department to his decision? Was he actually there present physically, or his lawyers there? What was
to the best of my knowledge, the ICIG's transmittal letter as well as the complaint from the whistleblower were forwarded to the Office of Legal Counsel for their determination. I believe that that is what they based their opinion on.
Okay, so you don't think he had a personal...
If I'm incorrect, I will come back to the committee and correct that, sir.
Okay, appreciate that. You're in a tough spot. I appreciate your long, storied history. I apologize if your integrity was insulted. That happens in this arena a lot, sometimes justified and most of the time not, and yours insult to your integrity was not justified in interest. The fact that we have differences of opinion, when we start losing those differences of opinion, we start to attack each other, call each other names, and those kinds of things. And so my experience is when you've got a legal matter, I've got lawyers I pay, you've got lawyers you pay. I typically stick with the lawyers that I'm paying. And so you had good legal advice on this issue in a really tough spot, wanting to make sure that this whistleblower was protected, but at the same time that if in fact there was something awry here, that it would get the full airing that it's clearly getting. So thank you for your service, and I yield back.
Thank you very much, Congressman.